Hi, everyone. Sorry for going dark these last couple weeks. I've been slowly gaining my voice back. As you can tell, I sound a little bit like a frog, but I thought I'd try and jump back into things. And today will mark the first of what will hopefully be an ongoing series. I previously mentioned in a video about the importance, the necessity of chasing beauty, and I'd like to create here a sort of beauty journal where I share some discoveries that I've come across in music, art, literature, architecture, etc. And this would open the door for others to comment and share what they've found on their own. My first beautiful discovery I want to share today is a poem called Mirror by Sylvia Plath. It was published in 1963. Now, if you don't want anything spoiled, I'd recommend pausing this video now and tracking down a copy to read before continuing. Okay? Let me start by saying that I'm not someone who reads poetry very often. I've dabbled in it as a writer, and certainly I can appreciate the skill it requires, but it's not something I'm normally inclined towards enjoying. However, in my search for beauty, I wanted to open my mind to possibilities that were outside of my bubble. And I recalled a student who was particularly fond of the works of Sylvia Plath, so I thought I would start there. Mirror is an incredible piece. The first time I read it, I didn't understand it, but the power of her words, the imagery it conjured up in my mind, it was so vivid. It stirred my curiosity. I was trying to piece together each line just to get a clear picture, and it wasn't until I read it and reread it multiple times that I understood that this poem was speaking from the perspective of a mirror, that it's showing its perception of a woman growing old over the years. And I thought that was such a novel approach that someone would try and write through the eyes of an inanimate object. It's so peculiar, and yet every word, every description feels authentic. I read this poem, and I believe that this is the mind of a mirror. That's remarkable craftsmanship for a writer. And I don't want to quote, I don't want to take quotes from it because I don't want to rob you of the pleasure of enjoying it in its entirety. So if you've never read this poem, Mirror by Sylvia Plath, I strongly suggest seeking it out. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and you keep chasing beauty, my friends.